What is going on, my Super Sandwiches? Robster here, and today I'm joined by Thundershot, and we're going to be discussing the feedback for Dragon Ball Xenoverse, because based on how it's received is what's going to happen when the sequel to Xenoverse happens, if it happens, which most likely it will happen because it sold pretty well. But there is such thing as too much negative feedback that could greatly affect how Xenoverse 2 happens. Does that make sense? So before we start, one way I'm going to lead into this video is by talking about Tenkaichi 3, which is considered one of the best Dragon Ball Z games of all time. And I know there's Budokai 3 and then there's Tenkaichi 3, but for now we're going to talk about this game specifically because what I believe happened after Tenkaichi 3 is a great example of how we don't want to send feedback across, if that makes sense. So if you guys remember, Tenkaichi 3 was an awesome game. Tenkaichi 4 happened. Tenkaichi 4 is Ultimate Tenkaichi, and the reason why Ultimate Tenkaichi is so bad is because there was a lot of complaints that came out of Tenkaichi 3, which resulted in Bandai Namco ordering the game to be more dumbed down. Tenkaichi 3 is actually considered very quote-unquote difficult to pick up and play, and because of the feedback that they received from the community back then, they gave us basically rock, paper, scissors, Ultimate Tenkaichi. So that's what happened with that game. Ultimate Tenkaichi is Tenkaichi 4. It's just people don't realize that because the name sort of changed, if that makes sense. So the main reason why Thundershot and I are getting together for this video is because, well, obviously Xenoverse came out in February, and now it's gotten to the point where it's just about done with its lifespan in terms of support. So we're about to get DLC Pack 3, which is going to be the final DLC for the game, and from this point on, it's going to be all about researching for the sequel. So Thundershot, what do we not want to do as a community?
As a community, I think feedback is needed. That's how game companies, especially guys like Dimps and the people making this game, Bandai Namco, that's how they decide what they're going to do with the next game, right? They try a game, let's just say Battle of Z, for example. Battle of Z, there's not a lot that could have helped Battle of Z. Battle of Z was pretty much a pile of dog shit. We told them that, well, hold on, let's start with Ultimate Tenkaichi, right? People didn't like Ultimate Tenkaichi, so what do? They scrapped the entire idea behind that game style. They came out with a new one. It was Battle of Z, all right? They hit us with Battle of Z. Nobody liked Battle of Z because that game just wasn't done well. There wasn't a lot that could save it. We say this pile of dog shit. They scrapped that. They give us Xenoverse. Now, Xenoverse, a lot of people will tell you, is a very, very good game, especially compared to what we've been getting. But it seems like a lot of the community anymore is reaming it and almost saying that, like, it's bad. It's really bad. And the feedback that might come across these game developers is that it's so bad, we don't want a Xenoverse 2. We want you to scrap this idea and try again. And that is not what we're aiming for. At least that's not what I'm aiming for. I think what's going on here is there's a lot of just straight complaints, just straight, this sucks, this is a problem, I don't like this, and nobody's really offering constructive criticism or any solution to these problems. For example, like hit detection is bad, right? That's just something that they need to work on fixing. They need to update their lobby system so we don't have 55 billion people hanging around in the lobby, not moving, standing still, lagging servers 24/7. That's an issue that they could fix. A lot of people are saying, well, these moves are imbalanced, well, these races are imbalanced. And then they just say that makes the game suck. They don't offer solutions to how exactly these things could be tweaked where we could still keep Xenoverse, because what they're not seeing is a lot of the positives, a lot of what we like about Xenoverse, and a lot of what we would want brought back if they make another game.
But even these positives that we got with Xenoverse could result in negatives with this game. So, for example, another one that I always see all the time is there's so much spam in Dragon Ball Xenoverse. Okay, let's actually take a second to label or define what spam is. Spam, actually the best example for spam is when the game first came out, people will go Super Saiyan and literally just sit there throwing death balls over and over again because you couldn't dodge the move at the time of how it was developed. Now the bug there was death balls could curve and it was almost impossible to dodge it, so that was the problem with there. But sitting here going Super Saiyan and throwing death ball over and over and over and over again, that, my friends, is spam. Spam is not using super attacks over and over again. So for example, if I'm playing and I'm getting shot out by a bunch of blasts and I'm using Phantom Fist all the time to get out of the way, that's me playing strategically using a move that I equipped so I can dodge a move. That is not me spamming a move. If I'm using instant transmission to jump left and right across the map looking for an opening to attack whoever I'm fighting, that's me using strategy to figure out how to jump into a match. That's not me spamming. And even sometimes I see people who want to see others only use melee. When somebody's using melee, technically that's spam too. It's like, what is spam? Thundershot, like what is spam to you? Because I know you did that video with Virgo Deride. You guys kind of discussed builds and stuff, but what do you personally define as spam?
Well, that's just it. And like, spam can exist. Super Saiyan spam, spam exists in the game, right? It's a thing that happens. The thing is that almost all spam is 100% entirely avoidable by you, and spam is actually what I would call a really bad technique. If you go Super Saiyan and throw death balls, what does the opponent have to do? Well, you fly left and right, you avoid death balls. They run out of Super Saiyan, you jump on them, then you destroy them because they can't do anything about it.
Exactly.
You see someone, I know one strategy you were doing with Teen Whist. You had that strategy, but I've seen it like be abused in online rank before, not by you. Instant transmission into ill flash, which ill flash is just a straight instant ki blast that blows people up. What do you have to do with that? You see them instant transmission 3 or 4 times hit you with the ill blast. You know if you grab right after the instant transmission, you've caught them. And every time they instant transmission left from there on out, you just throw it away.
Or for that one specifically, even go left. Because the thing about ill flash is fires left to right. So if you're flying in the left in a circle going like toward the left side, you will get hit by it every single time. But if you go the other way, you get out of it. So another point that I want to bring up is every move in this game has a huge weakness, and I'm going to exploit Sapphire Destruction for a second right now, because Sapphire Destruction is probably actually the worst ultimate to use in the game. It's cool because it can be very rewarding, especially if you have 100 ki blasts, but because you're open and you have those invincibility frames, when you're done doing that move and someone fires a special beam cannon, you are not dodging it. There's nothing you can do to save yourself from the move. And actually, I uploaded a video a couple days ago where I showed you the punishment someone can get from Sapphire Destruction. If you're tired of people using Sapphire Destruction, equip special beam cannon, which by the way, you should have that equipped anyways because it's a really awesome move. But like my point is every move has a weakness to it. There's no move currently out right now in the game that's so overpowered that it can't be, countered.
Point being, spam should never be a complaint of yours. If you are getting spammed by an opponent, if you think that their spamming is so bad, they're just doing this same move over and over and over again, then you should be thankful because like we just said, there's a way around every single move, and if you find out what that weakness is, you should be able to beat that person no problem.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I probably play this game way more than anybody. If you look at my hours in the game, it's probably going to be in the hundreds easily. And in my time playing online, which is pretty much 90% of the time, I've never had a match where I was like, wow, that was really annoying. No, I take that back. Actually, the only time I do get annoyed is every now and then when you run that one person just kind of stays back and doesn't let you get near them. However, to beat those guys, you can give them a taste of their own medicine and just take a capsule right before the match ends, and then you end up winning.
Oh my
God. Like, for the most part, which is funny as hell, by the way, they get so mad about that. It's like, you just spent the entire match running in circles and you hit me once. Like, you were trying to run out the clock. My point our point is the game, even though there's a lot of overpowered builds or powered attacks, there's a lot of weaknesses that a lot of people don't think about. And just because you run into that one person that has a really powerful build that has strategized their entire fight style around whatever they created, doesn't mean that the game's broken. It does not mean that the game is, quote unquote shitty and then we need something else next time around. It just, just think about the feedback that we are sending to Banana Uncle, because what they're going to see is they're going to get online, they're going to see the complaints, and be like, you know what? I don't think Xenoverse 2 should be like this. I think we should make it Ultimate Xenoverse. It's really, Ultimate Takaichi.
Dumb it down a bit. Yeah, and we kind of got off topic a little bit, but the point of this video is just be good with your feedback. Don't just give straight complaints. Tell them make sure to throw in what you like to. Make sure to give in constructive criticism. Well, I don't like this about the game but they could use this to fix it. I have a video coming out with Virgo Durai soon where we kind of explain the races, and there might be imbalances in theirs, and how we don't necessarily like the clothing system. What you're also going to hear us talking about throughout that entire video is solutions to these problems. Things that we would want to see in a Xenoverse 2, we would like them to implement. We want them to build on top of what they already have, because I don't know about you guys, but I do not want them to scrap Xenoverse and give us something new, or give us Ultimate Xenoverse or something like that. They are gonna hear the loudest. I mean, it seems like these game developers, they usually hear the loudest people giving reviews on their games, giving critiques about their games, and typically the loudest people are the most negative ones, and that kind of sucks because Xenoverse did a lot of things right, and I would like to make sure that this doesn't get completely scrapped as an idea as a whole.
And just remember, Tenkaichi 3, the feedback for that game was kind of built up back when the internet wasn't as thriving, I want to say. Like, it's not like, everybody had Twitter where everybody was just constantly tweeting, complaining. Not everybody got on YouTube and complained about it. They got feedback for Ultimate Tenkaichi, like, actually, Ultimate Tenkaichi came out, 2010, something like that? They got feedback for Ultimate Tenkaichi probably somewhere around 2007, 2008, where social media wasn't as huge. And now imagine now what they're getting, where it's like people are really loud. Everybody has a megaphone, and everybody's screaming into it saying X, Y, and Z, but no real solutions, which is going to result in a very different game next time around. So just think about what's happening.
There you go. That's pretty much it. Just when you give feedback, just make sure that, like, if you really don't want a Xenoverse, give all the negative. If you don't really want a Xenoverse 2, give all the negative feedback in the world. But if you like what they did and they're on the right track, because this was head and shoulders above Battle of Z or Ultimate Tenkaichi or anything we've gotten in a while, and that's just something that we kind of wanted to make sure we kept.
Yeah. So yeah. And also, before we end this video, we do want to ask you guys to leave feedback in this video itself. Constructive feedback. Don't just say the game sucks or, you know, this is broken, that's broken, get rid of this move. Give us actual, you know, actual feedback in the comments with what you want to see different next time around. Like, you know, think about your complaint and kind of figure out a solution. Don't just say the complaint, because again, this is the most important part about this next phase of, you know, Xenoverse 2 happening. So
yeah,
let us know in the comment section below.
I don't want to kind of beat the dead horse with this, but just to kind of go back into it, if they look at it and they see all this negativity, they're gonna be like, well, it turns out a lot of these guys really, we've been on the internet lately, a lot of these guys really didn't like Xenoverse at all. So I guess for the next time, we don't really try a new different story mode. We kind of just go back and make them go through the regular DBZ story mode like they've done in every game since the beginning of time. And I guess customizable characters was a decent idea, but they didn't really love it because they said all the customizable characters were broken, so we're just going to kind of ix customizable characters for the next one if that's cool. And then they also complained that there wasn't enough characters. They wanted more people from Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball GT. Well, game's memory, you can only put so much memory into a game, and I guess we're going to have to fill up 80% of that memory with a bunch of cloned characters that are just kind of the same copy-paste people with different skins on, so that way they can get characters from Dragon Ball as well. And then that could be the next game we get, if that's all they hear.
Yeah. So constructive feedback, folks. Constructive feedback. But yeah. But I mean, again, you know, my opinion is Xenoverse to me is the best Dragon Ball Z game we've received yet. You know, it has a lot of potential for Xenoverse 2. I honestly feel like they built the right skeleton. So when Xenoverse 2 does happen, if they take what they currently have and kind of improve over everything else that's wrong with it, Xenoverse 2 could be the greatest Dragon Ball Z game of all time. It could be the greatest. Because remember Tenkaichi 1? Tenkaichi 1 was a bad game, but then Tenkaichi 2 was incredible. Like the improvement, I want to see that happening in Xenoverse 2. I don't want them making Ultimate Xenoverse. So that's all I'm going to say. So yeah. Thundershot, you got anything else you want to say before we end this video?
No, I mean, I agree with you. If they fix some of the problems that they have, like some of the things we've listed, but build on Xenoverse, build on what they already have here as a game, and just make it bigger and better the next time around, yeah, that could definitely be one of the best games in anime history or in gaming history for that matter.
Yep, this is true. Alright folks, so don't forget to leave a like below if you enjoyed today's video. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback in general about Xenoverse 2, let us know in the comment section below. My name is Thundershot.
And I'm Rhyme Style.
And we'll see you guys in the comment section below.
Peace.